Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into...
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all...
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with after my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like... Can you do me a favor and try to recall what...
Let me think. Mr. Callis, after that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So my first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. But when I got there, it was already too late.
So you also remember
Indeed. The guards said that the first shot didn't hit anyone. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was...
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone...
About that, I'll tell you everything.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callis's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callis the Unfaithful epithet. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Cal, but it was Mr. Callis's trust that'll... No matter what others might say.
Don't worry. I will you and all our other comrades at this... Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia?
Oh, so...
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was...
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to...
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Callis did a fantastic job running the town. Building Spina di Rosula from... It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying... Anyway, enough chit-chat.
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House?
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into what? If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually...
Of course. Without them, I couldn't Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for you.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered... So, if you hypothetically wanted to do...
Then if I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're... Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. So I can promise you, those mecha... They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich,
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, jokes aside, I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from...
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can... Sure. I will let him know.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as...
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need... I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House.
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the opera...
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf. I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine...
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that...
Yes. I was reminded of your father's case right away.
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense...
Oh, and...
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also... If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably...
Oh, you're giving us too much credit.
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If anyone dares to lay their hands on...
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's...
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See...
Sounds good. Just let... All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
We've talked to all three suspects.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Florent mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of...
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no... If I had to guess...
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was...
Huh. So, what would make more sense from his perspective? Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security. So he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly. Thierry, you say? But I didn't...
Yeah. If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out.
Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also have... Still really hard for me to imagine, though. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot... Who could it be? You know, if you think everything through...
Could we be missing other suspects?
Malus has always been... The suspect is knowledgeable... Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all...
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes. Malus, we need far more solid proof before we...
Navia, here you are. Oh,
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guard?
yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trial?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
What?
Yeah, we know him.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the...
Wait, how? None of our...
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards...
Right. Because they'll think...
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder than to clear Mr. Callis.
I understand. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Irenaeus, leaving his home base wide open. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time.
We'll help you, just like you helped us in Lenny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malus, Silver. When did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that it's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the...
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Irenaeus. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. To fire hazard!
The wind knows me.
Time to go. Brings a smile to my face. One with nature.
A festive reprise!
The wind knows me.
Fire hazard!
I didn't...
But Captain, please stop using the Gardamex. Captain...
According to Malusa's info, the synth production base is underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance. Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. Ah, you're right. An important place like this is Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate. In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight. I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best and
No.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again.
That case had nothing to. Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior but that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless... We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the and if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent.
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is... Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabra.
Huh? What confrérie?
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosu?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged.
Yes.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take members of the guards. Please contact Mr. Marcel right away. Mr. Marcel, you will not...
Apologies, sir. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is...
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago. To the case. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who... Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember, if that's enough to make me a suspect...
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now.
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosu, during the banquet, all attending guests heard When the guests arrived at the scene, the guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from... The suspect did not dispute this conclusion. Callus was defeated by champion duelist. These are the known facts.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing... Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information. The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, in the unfortunate... This assassin... A pile of... But now, since it... Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible.
So that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's...
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime.
But I think I agree with everything Navia just said.
Then, may I ask some question? 1. Do you...
I'm a... Boo! I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearance...
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting...
Maybe she's scared of embarrassment.
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see. At that time, Spina di What was certain, however...
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected.
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter, but what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in it? But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents and continue. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house...
So, you mean to say...
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the...
As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of in my line of work. I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue. Just one look and I can tell if I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus...
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your...
Right? What she said was fascinating.
Wait, weren't they just talking about this?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized the culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they... Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the...
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing it, I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most
No need to appeal to Patho.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, on top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely...
I don't know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of... Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an act? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reason?
I suppose you're gonna...
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business... But the disappearances began before...
I do apologize, demoiselle. This...
No, it's not your fault.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my... You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snez. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable...
Seems like she got the wrong guy. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accused.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings, but aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things.
This isn't just about me. And the biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved. Many people's images are flashing before my... And whose image is it? A man named...
Huh.
Oh, so you...
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of...
I was waiting for you to say that.
Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds call.
Whoa! The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place. We need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.